Hello. So when I was out practicing on an indoor clay track with my B64D, first time I had taken it out, I discovered after hearing a horrible noise um, that this pin, this retaining clip actually, that goes around this gearbox pinion had come off, and it was just floating freely on the dog bone there. And so I put it back on, and then drove again for a while, and then I heard the noise again, and I checked it out, and this time the clip had come off, and the bearing had come out of this. This bearing that's in there was also sitting on the dog bone with the retaining pin in front of it. And so I thought to myself, why is this happening? Why is that retaining clip coming off? And the only thing I could really conclude was that there was so much play in this dog bone that the little pins at the end of it were actually somehow forcing the clip off at some point, somehow. And so I thought to myself, well, maybe I could glue that on there. But then I didn't want to risk that because of its proximity to the bearing itself. You can see how close it is. And I thought, if you glue that on there, you run the risk of getting glue in the bearing. And the bearing has to be there before you put the clip on. So gluing that would be potentially putting super glue in my bearing also. And so I thought about how to reduce the back and forth movement of this dog bone, and came up with the idea of putting O-rings here in this front outdrive, rear middle outdrive. We put 2 rubber O-rings so that it reduces the movement of this dog bone so much that the pins on this side of the dog bone can't move backwards enough in order to force that clip off. And so I haven't tried it yet, but I'm hoping that's gonna solve the problem with that. If it doesn't, I'll let you know what happens. But here's my B64D. I've got a Reedy Sonic Mach 3 8.5, the Reedy Black Box 510R. Here I have Savox 2271, Spectrum RS210. This fan is from Castle Creations, motor shroud fan. Popped it out of the shroud and put it on here, and it fits good, works just fine. So at the track, I was jumping off the biggest jump they had, and if you don't hit it straight on, you run the risk of running into this fence that they had, which is right next to the driver's stand. And mid-flight, I did not hit it straight on, and my car, the front left wheel, caught the fence, and it was awful. I was expecting extreme breakage all the way around. The first thing I thought I broke was the A-arm, but I went down and I picked it up and noticed that the wheels moved freely, and checked it out. And what had happened was that I had ripped this ball stud out of the servo horn, And I'm using the normal servo horn that they give you in the kit, the plastic one, for the 25 tooth spline. And I think that I'm glad that I was not using an aluminum servo horn, because if I had been, I probably would have broken something else besides just ripping the ball stud out of the soft plastic servo horn right here. So luckily I had another one with me, and I installed it, and was very careful on that jump after that to make sure that I was hitting it right and that I wasn't going to crash into the fence anymore. And so I'm surprised that that's all that broke on the car. I mean, it was horrible. Like the whole place just cringed and said, "Ooh, that sounded really bad." And so the only thing that happened was that the ball stud ripped out of the servo horn. So that was an easy fix, thankfully. So anyways, yeah, these O-rings here are hopefully going to help keep this dog bone in a position where it won't have a tendency to force that retaining clip off of that pinion. And if the retaining clip comes off again, then I'll know that the dog bone isn't the problem. And I don't know what the problem will be, but I'll figure it out. Anyways. So if anyone's having that problem, that's what I would suggest. Okay, peace out.